All right, guys, welcome to Nin Post. We have gone through material considerations, being true to yourself, communicating with others, and today we're going to work with operating effectively in the world. Now, we're not talking about hard skills, right? We're still talking about how to interact with other human beings. And one of the reasons is soft skills are some of the most difficult skills to learn. I mean, all it takes is time and practice to learn any hard skill. That's it. Time, practice, a little dedication. And I say little because even if it's difficult, this soft skills still takes more dedication. That out of the way, let's look at our next three, 9, 10, and 11. Operating effectively in the world. Number 9, I am as enthusiastic about others' fulfillment as I am about my own. That's important. I avoid treating other successes as the cause of my lack. Now get this. This requires a sense of self that's really, really strongly rooted in confidence, and not just this common thing we talk about self-confidence or anything like that. This has much more to do with a solid foundation in self, such that you have the ability to honestly be very happy about someone else accomplishing something you also want to accomplish. Someone else getting there when you're still trying to get there. I avoid treating other successes as a cause of my lack. Just because they got there doesn't mean you won't. And you can use, just like everything else, everything in this planet, every experience that you have, you get to choose its value in your life. It's your choice. What happens to you oftentimes isn't a choice of yours, at least in that moment. But you get to choose the value of the things in your life. And if you choose something that if something happens to you and you choose to view it as negative, then it has a negative impact on your life. But you can choose also to have that same event to be a positive inspiration in whatever direction you want. And you can talk about, everyone enhances my life, whether by coming into it or leaving from it. We can talk about that all day. But what we're referring to here is when someone else accomplishes something you want to accomplish, they have gotten there, you're still working on it, right? You can look at that and get jealous of them. Or you can look at them and go, how inspirational, I can do it too. Totally different mindset. And one of them is Nin Post. So that's number 9, a valuable one. Let's see. I promote the enjoyment of life and encourage others with my smile. I avoid setting myself against the world. Your countenance is important. And we'll get to Dr. Humphrey's warrior code at some point as well. That is also on the docket. But there's a point in the warrior code where everyone is happy that I come home. And pardon me. Give me a moment. Let's pause for the cause. So everyone's happy that I'm there when I come home. And the part of that, the point of that is to, before you begin interacting with people that are important to you, right yourself. Put yourself in the right mindset. If you're coming home and you're bringing work problems home to your wife, to your kids, then you are doing nothing more than spreading the disease of ill thought. It's catchable just like anything else. So I promote the enjoyment of life and encourage others with my smile. I avoid setting myself against the world. Your greatest accomplishments will happen when you set yourself in the flow with the world. Done. Okay. Next one. I promote the search for personal realization of truth. I avoid the seductive comfort of narrow-mindedness. This one, especially in this day and age, with the way the political world is, it's very difficult to say those words and think that, and not think that I won't get rebuttal of some kind. You know, the personal realization of truth. Okay? We're not talking about facts. Facts aren't personal. Facts are impersonal. The description of plastic is the same. Whether you call it plastic or you call it paper, doesn't matter. The description of the thing remains the same. That being said, we're all working on different levels. And it's not levels as far as height and lowness. It's not about that. It's different levels where we're working on a different thing at a different time. So if you think about it from a point of view, if you've got a pie chart, for example, and you don't look at this pie chart from a pie chart's point of view. You look at it from the skeletonized point of view. There's no colors on it. It's just lines and a circle. If you think about where those lines touch the circle and where they all touch and converge in the center, where they touch in the circle, each point where they touch is a different aspect that you're working on. The center mark is the one you're working on right now. I've heard it phrased in, if you think of the old sailing ships, the rudder wheel, the big old giant wheel, like that, where each spoke from the wheel goes out to the sides and where they connect into the regular outside of the wheel. That's where the issues or the things that you're working on reside. And then the center axis is the point of the one you're working on in that moment. So valuable, important. All important, but this one's the one you're working on. So it's not about levels. It's about which one we're working on. Bringing this back, I avoid setting myself against the world. Sorry, the one after that. The third one, I promote the search for personal realization of truth. Just because you're working on one thing doesn't mean everyone else is working on it. That same thing in that moment. They might later. They might have already passed it. You look at what they're working on, and they're not going to tell you. They might not even know. But the condition of their life, the certain situations that they seem to always be getting into, that tells you where the lesson lies. And oftentimes, it's not our job to fix other people. Let's not go there. We're not here to fix people. People don't need fixing. But rarely does any human being never need any type of help. I need help daily. And I get help from those people that help me. And I get help from people who don't help me. And sometimes I help myself. Sometimes you got to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. And that's all right. It makes you stronger. Of course, that's an easy thing to say, huh? Not too easy to do, but that's another thing. I promote the search for personal realization of truth. I avoid the seductive comfort of narrow-mindedness. If you are locked in your own narrow-mindedness and you can't see that someone else is working on some other thing that you've already gone through and that you can probably help them with, then you're not going to. It's just not a thing that's going to happen. You're not going to think about it. You're not going to think that the thing that you're doing is something you can do, or that you have any business trying. So don't try. Oftentimes, it's not about pushing someone up a ladder in so much as providing a closer rung. So if you can find a way to provide a closer rung for that person to latch onto so that they can climb a little bit higher than the one after that, because no one can climb for them. You're not under them pushing them up. You're not above them trying to pull them up. You're just like, hey, didn't you see this? And they're like, oh no, I didn't know. That's useful. Work to be useful people in this world. Anything less is uncivilized. All right, guys. That's our 3 for today. I am as enthusiastic about others' fulfillment as I am about my own. I avoid treating others' successes as the cause of my lack. I promote the enjoyment of life and encourage others with my smile. I avoid setting myself against the world. I promote the search for personal realization of truth. I avoid the seductive comfort of narrow-mindedness. That's what I got. Our next one will be our 5th and final episode in the series of the Stephen K. Hayes 14-point mindful action code. It will be about generating accomplishment. We've gone through material considerations, to be true to yourself, communication with others, and today, operating effectively in the world. Next episode will be about generating accomplishment. So, operating effectively doesn't generate accomplishment if there's no thing to accomplish. So, it may sound like it's the same thing. It's not. All right, guys. Till next time, get lost, but never lose your way.